A woman, she'd just give birth and then stay home to focus on housework and raising the kids. It's crazy to think they can work after giving birth. I was so busy with work that I almost missed my chance to settle down. I thought my husband was okay with me wanting to keep working even after we tied the knot and had our son. He even helped with the housework when I was pregnant. But suddenly after giving birth, he changed completely. This isn't what we agreed on. Besides, I can't extend my maternity leave. It would cause tremendous trouble to my company. What? The stuff women do at work is not even that big of a deal. Saying this, Kevin laughed. He was so kind before I gave birth. I'm baffled. Is this really the kind man I married? Anyway, I won't allow you to go back to work, so hand in your resignation. If you don't do as I say, we'll get divorced and I'll take custody of our son. He pressures me about custody, but doesn't lift a finger to help with our son. After I took in an older woman like you, who do you think you are? If we divorce, you'll never be able to get married again. Haha. Realizing he was no longer the man I once knew, I contacted someone, never imagining this call would be his downfall. My name is Anna. I have a job in the fashion business, and some may see me as a dedicated career woman. But seen in a less positive light, I could be perceived as a single woman who has neglected her femininity in favor of her work. Just to be clear, it's not that I don't want to get married. I do hope to marry someone someday and experience the joy of being a mother. My mother died in an accident when I was young. Maybe that's why I have a strong desire to become a mother myself. But I completely missed my chance to get married because I worked too hard. Why don't you talk to your dad about it? When a dad sees his daughter tying the knot when she's past her best years, he thinks the guy is like a god to him. When I complained to my old friend Tracy, who is a mother of 2 and still works with me, she said that. I wonder if Tracy comes across as a confident married woman when we talk at the cafe near work, or if I'm just feeling envious. No way. I wouldn't guess my dad's wishes in the first place. Even now in front of me, he praises Sandy. You know, the slightly tomboyish, beautiful secretary to the president. He says Sandy is homely, good at cooking, and a great support both personally and professionally. I couldn't help but ask him if he was having an affair with her or something. I said, laughing. When I asked my dad whether he was having an affair with Sandy, he vehemently denied it. Sandy looked genuinely upset, tearing up. Indeed, Sandy is younger than me. No young woman would want an old man like that. But it's difficult at work. Everyone is cautious around me, and most of them have families. I don't mind younger men, nor am I concerned about their income, but I want a partner who I can discuss things with equally and who is understanding. What about a marriage agency? A marriage agency? If you go to a reputable one, it will cost some money, but they are serious about introducing you to someone considering marriage. They check if the other party is really single and share your information as well. There's a possibility there. Tracy suggested this and even introduced me to a marriage agency. If I really want to have kids, I need to hurry up and get serious. So, I registered with a marriage agency right away. When my father found out I had registered, he said, "Instead of spending money on that, I could introduce someone to you." No, you don't have to do that. I firmly rejected the idea. My father sighed. Meanwhile, I had met a few people, and one of them was Kevin. I want to continue working even after we get married. Also, I want kids, but given my age, I would like to have them soon. Despite being a 40-year-old woman, which made it difficult to find someone, Kevin was the only one who accepted this. Well, I think that's a great idea. Things progressed smoothly and we got married. When we went to greet each other's parents, my father said something. It's your decision, but do this and 5 years after the marriage, whether to tell him or not is up to you. That's fine, but why make it so complicated? I didn't understand why he told me to do that, but since it was a condition and no significant issues arose, I agreed. And so Kevin and I got married just half a year after meeting through the marriage agency. Kevin was kind even after the marriage. He didn't fuss about me working late or complain about the food I cooked. As I said before marriage, I want to do housework and childcare together. Sure, that's fine. Kevin nodded at my words. Indeed, Kevin did help with cleaning and laundry when he was busy. He also prepared delicious meals, which was a great help. My in-laws who lived nearby were also kind. My father-in-law, Fred, who I've met a few times, like when we got engaged, is always busy with work, but he's totally fine with me wanting to keep working even after turning 40. My mother-in-law, Megan, is skillful and homely. Her cooking is meticulously prepared, and I could tell she takes her time with it. The reason my husband's cooking tastes similar must be because Megan taught him, and I somehow managed to get pregnant. My parents as well as my in-laws were delighted, and Megan, who enjoys handicrafts as a hobby, prepared baby items for me. Wow, this is a wonderful piece. It looks like something you'd sell in a store. Megan, why don't you try selling these? No way, I couldn't possibly do that. Nowadays, it's possible for individuals to sell things on their own, and depending on the person, they could earn as much as a regular office worker. Megan looked troubled by my words. Due to the difficulties of continuing work during pregnancy, I had taken maternity leave. This was the beginning of my journey towards my dream. Maternity leave was like a preparation period. I arranged for Tracy to help me after my maternity leave, and I also prepared for working remotely. However, I was concerned because Sandy seemed a bit down. I asked if my father had done something to her, and my father made an awful face. Despite this, when my maternity leave started, Kevin changed. He's barely lifting a finger to help out around the house or cook anymore. Well, I am at home. It's natural that I end up doing everything. I was okay with that, but according to Tracy, isn't that strange? Really? It's my first pregnancy. You seem fine without morning sickness, but normally pregnancy is unstable and it's difficult to do housework. If you're good at household chores, I would think he'd help. Sure, he can assist with looking after your son all he likes, but he can't actually carry a baby in his belly. So he should at least do the housework. You might be mistaken, but pregnancy and childbirth are just the beginning. Tracy, who's balancing work and motherhood like a boss, spoke with determination. Kevin has been promoted recently. He's going to be a father soon, and it's also about appreciating his character. I defended Kevin. He had recently been promoted to a managerial position. Naturally, he might be more focused on work considering he is about to become a father. I heard that men start to really grasp the idea of being a parent later on. Tracy seemed to ponder my words for a moment and then, with a wry smile, said, "Well, good luck. You might be the boss at work, but I've been a mom longer. You'll understand the struggles of a working mom." Despite the anxieties of being an older mother, both the baby and I were healthy. Kevin's family was thrilled about the birth of a son. They're all about carrying on the family name. My father-in-law, Fred, who I've hardly ever met, even took time off from his busy schedule. Looking back, that was probably the peak of my happiness. That situation would soon drastically change. Probably only Megan knew what was coming. Life after the birth was challenging. Kevin stopped doing any housework. "Hey, my maternity leave is almost over. You need to start helping with the childcare and do some household chores too." I had reasons why I couldn't extend my maternity leave. Despite this, he wouldn't even soothe our crying son. Often, he wouldn't come home until late at night and had many business trips. Hey, going on business trips and coming home late? Can't you cut down on overtime at work a bit? Or even going out at night on weekends? I asked Kevin these questions, but he dismissed them with, "Stop nagging. You do it." And then he asks, "Are you serious about returning to work?" Serious? Are you really asking that now? I've been preparing for that. I was flabbergasted by Kevin, who said this while I was putting our son to sleep. "No, it's you who is joking, right? Women are supposed to give birth and stay home to do the housework and childcare. It's crazy to think they can work after giving birth." Excuse me? His words made me doubt his sanity. No, I've said it before we got married. I want kids, but I don't want to give up my job. That's why I marry someone who will share the household and childcare duties with me. Normally, isn't that what women do after having a baby? Does a maternal instinct or something like that kick in? He retorted. This isn't what we agreed on. Besides, I can't extend my maternity leave. It would cause tremendous trouble at my company. What? The stuff women do at work is not even that big of a deal. Kevin laughed at that. Was this really the Kevin I knew? Where had Kevin, who used to do household chores, gone? While I was thinking this, he said, "Anyway, I won't allow you to go back to work, so hand in your resignation. If you don't do as I say, we'll get divorced and I'll take custody. My dad is about to retire, but he's a high-ranking executive with a lot of personal connections. He's financially stronger than me, and he knows lawyers. So you wouldn't stand a chance in going against me. Haha." After saying that, Kevin went out again. Why? What should I do? As I was pondering, my phone rang. "Excuse me, Anna. Is now a good time for a call?" "Oh, Sandy." The caller was Sandy, my father's secretary. Sandy had a low voice for a woman, but it sounded even lower than usual, almost like a man's. "Yes, my son just fell asleep, so it's fine as long as I don't speak loudly. My husband is out." Sandy said, "I see. Excuse me, Anna. Do you think you'll be able to return to work?" Is this a question for my father? No, that's not it. This is just me being nosy, unrelated to my official duties. Sandy prefaced, then continued. "I happened to accompany your father on a business outing to a nightclub, and there I saw your husband, Kevin." "What? At a nightclub?" I almost raised my voice in surprise. "Yes, and it seemed that Fred, Kevin's father, was with him. Excuse me, but I was concerned about your family situation, so I asked the club's owner. They're not part of the staff there, but it seems both of them are involved in inappropriate relations at their company." "Are you serious?" I was at a loss for words. Caught between the preparations for work, first-time parenting, and housework, the last thing I expected was Kevin having an affair, and with my father-in-law involved too. "Anna, I had to let you know something that might shake things up with your family. I feel bad about it, but I couldn't keep it from you." Sandy apologized, but I responded thoughtfully. "I'm sorry, Sandy. I don't mean to doubt what you've told me, but I'm a bit skeptical about this. Can you try to find some proof or ask other people if they saw that too?" "All right." Following our conversation, Sandy promised to present evidence. The recorder she provided captured Kevin and Fred speaking terribly about me, calling me an old woman, and he even revealed that Megan, not Kevin, had been doing all the housework which I had believed he was handling. With that, I left a note saying I was filing for divorce and left the house with my son. Since I was about to return to work, it was crucial to act quickly. Sandy had arranged for me to stay in an apartment close to my job. As Tracy helped me move, she chuckled. "You're really capable at work, but there's something missing in your personal life. You should have realized this sooner." Then Tracy asked seriously, "So, what are you going to do now?" "I'm going to fight back. He's been using our savings to wine and dine with his side piece." Right then Kevin called, which was timely. "What do you want?" "Why did you take our son?" "Do you think I believe you're capable of looking after him?" It seemed he had no issue with me leaving. Probably he'd let his mother handle everything at home anyway. When I pointed this out, Kevin retorted, "Of course it's Mom's job. She understands a woman's duties well." "You're going to burden your mother, who's nearly 60, with all this? Are you trying to kill her?" "Shut up. I did you a favor by marrying an old woman like you. You think you can raise a child without money after we get a divorce? I'll make sure you pay up for this. Just wait and see, you'll regret what you did." Hearing that doesn't scare me. It takes guts to be the one to end things. Spare me the drama. I'm not planning on regretting anything. In fact, I think you'll be the one with regrets. And just so you're prepared, I'll be the one claiming compensation. I always pick up the fights that come my way. I declared that I would not let him do whatever he wanted. Later, a meeting was arranged through lawyers. Fred appeared visibly upset, and Kevin was still acting arrogantly, while Megan seemed troubled. On my side were my lawyer, my father, and also Sandy. "If we're divorcing, I want compensation." "Save your sleep talk for bed," I declared firmly. "Sleep talk? That's on your part," he argued back arrogantly. "Firstly, a woman's unstable, low income is not enough to raise a child. Hand over the grandchild quietly and pay compensation and child support. If you refuse, come back quietly. We were generous enough to take in a leftover single parent like you. Kevin, You too. You should have gone for a young, dumb woman who'd listen instead. Oh, that's true, Dad, but a mistress is better for that sort of woman. At least she had money. I go easy on young women, and it's tough to break up with them when they get older and you're already married. Hearing Fred and Kevin's words, I couldn't believe my ears. Saying such things in front of me and my father? I thought I had a good eye for people, but it seems I lacked judgment when it comes to men. I sighed. Unfortunately for you, the one who'll be paying compensation is you. At the same time, Sandy presented evidence of Kevin's infidelity. Adultery is sufficient ground for divorce and a claim for damages. Plus, I've meticulously recorded the childcare, which proves you did nothing. Do you really think you can get custody in this situation? Kevin's lawyer seemed shocked, probably only hearing Kevin and Fred's side of the story. But you don't have the financial means. Sadly, it's you who lacks financial resources. I stated clearly. Here's my business card, by the way. I showed my newly printed business card. Huh? What's the use of your stupid business card? He scoffed, but his demeanor froze as he read the company name on the card and snatched it to read the details. What's going on, Kevin? Kevin stuttered, unable to speak. No way. You're the CEO at our parent company? CEO? What? No way she'd be in that position. In fact, I'm the CEO of their parent company. At this revelation, both Fred and Megan were visibly shocked. Our company is the parent company of yours, you see. I had my daughter join from scratch to develop her skills on her own. If she's to succeed me, she needs to prove her worth. I was surprised her husband turned out to be an employee at one of our subsidiary companies. I instructed her to keep this a secret from you for at least 5 years. Only the president of your company knows about it. I haven't asked for her to be treated specially, though. Just because you're the CEO of the parent company doesn't mean you can fire employees like me, Kevin exclaimed, but Sandy responded. Unfortunately, it was us who investigated the affair. It seems he was involved with a temp worker from the company having inappropriate relations during work hours, even using company expenses for hotel visits and trips. As a company, we cannot overlook an employee who engages in misconduct, regardless of his relationship to my daughter. Besides the compensation, it looks like you'll have to face consequences. I'll have to speak to the president of your company about your responsibilities. It's a shame for our family, really. My poor daughter has been treated terribly and subjected to such harsh treatment. Fred panicked and said, Please, forgive us. I'll disown this foolish son of mine. Dad, how could you? Despite Kevin's shocked response, Father continued. As I said, his punishment will be decided by the president of his company. Father then turned to me. Now about the divorce. Are you going to sue them? If you do, we'll fight it thoroughly, but I don't think they have a chance of winning. Those words crushed Kevin. Fred kept trying to get on people's good side, ditching his son. And so the divorce was finalized smoothly. Their lawyer didn't even plan to contest it, claiming there had been a misunderstanding. Wow! I was explaining the situation to Tracy, who had become a secretary at my workplace. She nodded as she listened. Afterwards, I was able to run the company well while my son was looked after at the company's daycare. Kevin was fired from the company. He had angered my father and hadn't made a good impression to me either. It was risky to keep him around. Fred was also demoted and sidelined to a less important department. So his father wasn't fired? Fred is retiring in about a year anyway. Plus, he needs to receive his severance pay. Huh? What do you mean? When Fred and Megan get a divorce, Megan can get money through the division of assets, I said with a smile. Megan was kind, you know. She even tried to help with household chores during my pregnancy. Fred had told her not to spill the beans until after I gave birth. She was also worried she couldn't make it financially if she divorced at her age. A strong lawyer for the divorce and Megan's crafting skills, which are excellent. She's actually making a profit from selling her crafts. Now, even without that husband, she can live independently. Fred, who lacks domestic skills, has been disowned by his son and doesn't even know how to contact him. He's in for a hard time as he gets older. and will likely have to cough up a lot of money. I grinned. Kevin would no longer be able to work in this industry. I was counting on child support and didn't need it, but I was still claiming it. But does that mean I'm also out of the marriage game? Then what about me? This was said by Sandy, who had transitioned from being my father's secretary to mine. Huh? No, Sandy, I think you can definitely get married. You're tall, attractive, and will surely find a wonderful husband, like me. Sandy sighed, and for some reason, Tracy burst into laughter. Anna? Sandy sighed, then said as he placed some documents down. I'm a man. What? I've been attracted to you since I joined the company. I worked hard to become the president's secretary so I could be worthy of marrying you. The president was even planning to introduce me as a potential husband for you. I was taken aback by his words. I guess I really do lack judgment when it comes to men.